Welcome to the Pantheon Parenthetical. My name is Lance Ash. Now, the next morning, Old Tusk descended from his sleeping quarters on one of the floors above the store itself to begin the day. He turned on the lights, turned on the big fans, and went to the front door where he turned the open close sign around and opened up the door to find, as usual, his friend Chuck Willow standing there. As Chuck Willow passed inside, Old Tusk stepped out on the front steps of the store to take a look around. To his left was an old church pew up against the wall under the overhang of the front of the store. This is where the regulars will, later in the day, sit and talk, sip soda pop, smoke cigarettes, eat sardines. Meanwhile, Chuck Willow has proceeded to the euphemistically titled office behind the counter in the store, there to prepare coffee. A few minutes later, Chuck Willow and Old Tusk are seated in their respective seats behind the counter, sipping coffee and discussing the day's events, their lives. The regulars file in, and at one point, an old man named Sarge puts his head in the front door. "Hey, you two, come take a look at what I've got," he says. Sarge is very old. He's very thin, missing almost all of his teeth. Chuck Willow and Old Tusk and a couple of the regulars go outside, cross the street to where Sarge has parked his 15-year-old pickup truck in the shade of some of the trees at the edge of the old Rodung estate. In the back of the truck is an enormous snapping turtle, almost 3 feet long, almost 2 feet wide. Sarge warns them, "Don't put your hand anywhere near his mouth. I poked at him with a bamboo stick and he bit it in half." "What you gonna do with him?" Old Tusk asks. "Gonna make him into mull, of course." Sarge is known in the area for making chicken mull and turtle mull and selling it in quart-sized freezer containers. These containers are labeled in marker on masking tape. But as Sarge is illiterate, it's something of a mystery as to how these labels get made and attached. "Seems a shame," says Chuck Willow. "Thing like that ought to be in a zoo." "Ah," Sarge mutters dismissively. He has never been to a zoo in his life. Eventually, about a half dozen men are gathered around the back of the truck. The conversation roams from the turtle itself, to turtles in general, to the world at large. Old Tusk feels that the time has come for him to go back to his post behind the counter. He turns and crosses the street, reaches the front door, and as he does so, the stranger from yesterday pulls up. The stranger gets out of his car, dressed exactly as he was the day before. Only a hint of stubble on his face indicates that time has passed. Old Tusk calls out to him, "How did you find Tannen?" "Exactly as you directed me to," answers the stranger. "Smart ass," thinks Old Tusk. He merely nods and goes inside the store. The stranger looks over at the group of men around the back of the truck, but does not go to investigate. nor does he go in the direction of the store. Instead, he slowly pivots until he is facing Jack's house. And it is in this direction that he heads as we bring this episode to a close. Thank you very much for listening.